My name is Maria Magdalena Mieri, and I'm 47-year-old.
Okay, and when did you come to the United States?
I came to the United States in 1992, on March 27, 1992. We flew into Florida, and then early April we moved to this area.
Okay, and where were you coming from?
We came from Argentina. I say we because I came with my husband, Fabian, who's also from Argentina, from the city of Buenos Aires, although I grew up in a very small town about 5 hours west from the capital city, Buenos Aires.
Okay, and do you keep any connections to Argentina?
Oh yes, lots of connections. Well, my family is still there. Both my parents, thank God, are alive, and we get on Skype and we chat almost every week. And my older sister lives there. My husband's family is all there as well. And I read the newspaper once every so often. I listen to music that's created in Argentina. I drink mate, that happens in Argentina, very traditional drink. Lots of connections, and I'm still in touch with high school friends and other friends. So yeah.
Okay, and so what made you want to become a naturalized citizen?
That's a tough question. I think my first motivation was to be able to vote, to become active in civic society. I didn't think much about it in terms of emotionally the feelings, but I felt I had lived here a good 15 years and I was ready to become an active participant, and I really wanted to vote. So that was kind of my best motivation to become a U.S. citizen.
And so did you and your family talk a little bit about the pros and cons of becoming naturalized?
No, not really. My husband became citizen as early as he could. After 5 years of having the green card, he said, "This is my next step." I wasn't so sure. I wasn't sure I really want to be that involved. You know, being an immigrant is not just making decisions, and I'm part of this. It's hard to let go, and until you understand that you are not really letting go, that you are adding to who you are. So it took me a little longer, and as I said, I really wanted to vote, and so there wasn't much of a discussion about that.
Okay. And so can you please describe your experience of the naturalization process, some of the major steps?
Sure. Yes. Let's see if I remember though. It wasn't too complicated. As I said, my husband had become citizen before, so I knew exactly what he went through, and I helped him quite a bit. It took longer than I thought though. So instead, I think in his case it was within a year. In my case, it took almost 2 years. But it was a lot of filling out forms and submitting them and waiting for notifications and submitting additional information, paying fees, and then the interview for which I had to study about, I don't think there were 100 questions, but there were quite a bit of questions about U.S. civics and government and history. So I was preparing for that, and then the interview was really easy, very friendly people, and I think they asked me only 2 questions, and then I had to write a sentence, and I was done like in 10 minutes. And then after that, it was like waiting and waiting until I finally got the appointment to have the ceremony. And that was on May 20th. The only reason I remember, I think it's because of my husband's birthday on that day, in 2004, and it was at George Mason University campus. So it was the ceremony itself was pretty anonymous. It was about maybe 400 people in it. But it was also quick. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Okay, and so what object did you bring with you, and what's the story behind it?
Sure. So this is the object that I brought to share, and it's a pin. And that's what I wore the day that I went to my sorting. I was all dressed in black, and I have this pin here. And I choose this pin because it's pretty much looks like the Argentinian flag pin, which is called escarapela. Cockade, I think you could call it, is what we use on patriotic days, kids when they go to school. and it's light blue and white. And so this was the closest that I have to one of them. So this was my way to symbolize that I was becoming a U.S. citizen, yet I'm still in my heart Argentinian. And it's also made by Navajo Indians, and that was my first connection with the United States. Before moving here, I had a fellowship in New Mexico, and I learned a lot about Native cultures there. So it was that also my first contact with the United States and experience. So I treasure this. This is important.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
How was your life affected by becoming a naturalized citizen?
I think that is, of course, beyond the paperwork. It's more in the emotional and the feelings, and I think it gave me agency in saying, yes, now I'm part of this society. I'm the same as anybody else that choose to become a U.S. citizen and had made this wonderful country. I can be part of this, and I can contribute, and I can benefit, and I felt really good about that. So it was more, I think, in the, as I said, in the emotional, the feeling side of things, but also ideologically, feeling more I'm part of this sort of project and country and development. So I felt free to contribute, to express my opinion by saying, yes, I'm part of this as well. So I think that's in a broader sense.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.